Hey, what's up guys, JK Disc Golf here, and today we're going to talk about how to test your new discs. To start off the video, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Innova for sending me these 8 discs. So now all these 8 discs, I got to figure out how they fly and see how they're going to fit into my bag. So I'm just going to list off the discs that I got. I got a Star Aviar X3, a Star Cayman, Star T-Bird 3 with an awesome Christmas stamp, ooh, Champion Thunderbird, Champion Firebird, Star Destroyer, Star Shrike, and this awesome 10-year anniversary boss. And actually, I don't know if I'm going to throw this one yet. I haven't really decided. Because look how pretty this thing is. Look at that. Look at that. So the first thing I have to say when you're getting new discs, especially if you have not tried them or have never thrown them before, go out to a football field, a soccer field, or any open field where you can just throw. And I would throw the discs for a long time just so you understand the flight and how it's going to fly for you. That's exactly what I did for these 3 discs because I've never thrown them before and I wanted to know how they're going to fly for me. So I knew when I went to the field that the Cayman was going to be my forehand approach, my short sidearm disc. So I just spent a good 30 minutes just throwing this thing sidearm, trying to perfect it, see how it's going to fly, see how much power I needed to get that max flight. And that's exactly what I did, just forehand, 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 until I understood exactly the amount of power, the exact amount of angle I had to throw it for the shot that I wanted. I did that with these 2 discs too. I knew that the T-Bird 3 was a little bit faster than the T-Bird, and I've thrown a T-Bird before, so I need to throw this thing a little bit harder to make it go straight and still have a nice fade. And guess what? Did the same thing for the Aviar X3. I threw a thing backhand, figured out how hard I needed to throw it to get it to go pretty straight. I threw it sidearm just to get a feel for a putter sidearm. And also, I did that with all the other discs as well. I might have thrown a Destroyer before, but this is a brand new Destroyer. Could be from a new run. I just needed to figure out how exactly that would fly compared to other Destroyers that I've had. And the same thing with my Thunderbird, Firebird, etc. I just had to figure out exactly how these discs flew to figure out how I need to change my thrower, exactly how to throw the disc to get what I want out of each disc. So now you're done throwing in the field. You've gotten your field work done. You understand what each disc does, how it's going to fly for you, and you're taking it to the next step. You're going to go to your local disc golf course, whatever disc golf course you like to play. I would suggest something where you're familiar with and you know the lines that you need, just because it'll be easier to throw. And I would throw only the new discs that you're trying to figure out. So I knew that I really wanted to practice driving with the Thunderbird and the Strike. So all I did was on those shots is I would throw the Thunderbird and the Strike on every hole, along with a few extra if I felt that the disc was necessary for those lines. But I wouldn't just throw one. This isn't like a normal round where you're keeping score, it's super serious. It's the complete opposite. It's super laid back. I suggest not keeping score at all because that's not what you're doing right now. Is you're figuring out the new discs. You're figuring out just new ways to help you improve your game, but it's in no way a competitive round at all. So what I do, sometimes I threw 2 discs. Sometimes I threw 4 discs. I threw every new disc that I had if I felt that I wanted to practice on that hole. I was just figuring out these discs more on just getting a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more familiar with these discs. So I would throw, the more I would throw, the more I'd get comfortable, the more I would understand how they fly. So that's just what I'm doing, is in every single hole, I would practice these shots. And I would practice different shots with different discs so I would understand. So I know that on some holes, I would throw a backhand approach with my Aviar X3, but I would see a sidearm route. So I'd also throw one with my Cayman. I didn't care how long it took. I didn't care how many discs I had out in the fairway. I wasn't worried about that. I was just worrying on how I was throwing the shots and how I was executing the shots. So you can see the overlay that I'm having a video out right now is just my round. And I played 18 holes just with these discs, and by the end of the round, I could guarantee that I was more familiar with the discs, and I knew what they were going to do, and I knew how they're going to fly and how they're going to fit in my bag. I could tell you exactly how every single one of these discs flies after this round. I would also suggest don't just do this once. Just because you threw it one round and one field test with these discs doesn't mean you're going to master every single disc. You have to go out and you have to do it again and again and again just so you get familiarized. It's a great thing that we have the off season now, and I'm talking about this now because especially for me, I'm going to be starting to incorporate different discs in my bag, so I'm going to get familiar with newer discs, so it's perfect. Especially since I'm not taking any of these runs seriously, I don't have to care about how I play. I'm going to be throwing new discs to understand what discs are going to fit in my new bag for the 2019 season. This is a great way to start figuring out new discs, a great way to just get familiar with these new plastics. So I definitely suggest you going out in the field, throwing for an hour, then going to your course, throwing a couple rounds with these new discs and only the new discs, and really just don't get frustrated, because if a disc isn't throwing in the way that you thought it would, or you don't really like the disc, then you know that you're not going to have to throw it, and just don't throw it anymore. And if you find something that you really like, keep throwing it. That's the great thing about testing new discs, and the positives that comes with it is that you can figure out what's going to help improve your game, and it helps you decide what's going to be in your bag for the 2019 season. But that's all I got today, guys. Make sure you keep throwing.